Hi guys! Since everybody is trapped at home trying to spend time as a family or just keep your kids entertained, whatever it means for your family, I thought one easy way to break up the monotony of a day is to play board games. It's a great family bonding experience, or if you're just trying to get your kids to be quiet, some cooperative games where they hopefully won't fight could be very helpful. Lauda and I have always really liked playing board games, so we actually have a big collection of what I call like dorky or nerdy board games. I embrace that term fully when talking about myself. So if I have time, I'll go over some of those. A lot of them would be great if you have older children. But I'm going to start with the games that we've started collecting for when Ani is big enough to start playing board games. We have started playing some of these games on Saturday mornings at breakfast. So Lauda and I will play, and Ani will sit and watch us, just so she's used to having it as part of her routine. So let's jump in. Oh, I should say, all of these games, unless I noted otherwise, I got from Amazon or they were gifted to us from somebody who bought them on Amazon. So this first one is technically for ages 3 and up, although depending on your kids and your personal comfort, they could probably play it younger. It is a balancing barnyard. And I have seen different versions of this game, like a Noah's Ark one, but basically it comes with one big piece that's on like a rocker. Ours is a farm, or well, it is a farm, but a barn. And then it comes with 12 little animal pieces, and you just take turns stacking them on the barn and trying not to have it topple. So you could play this as a competitive game, or you could play it as a cooperative game, or even as solo play for your child if you trust them not to put the animals in their mouth. We've played this one. It's super fun. It's easy to just have a conversation while you're playing, not get too serious, and it's cute. The little pieces are super cute. Next up is a game we actually have not played. The two next games we have not played. My mom and I found this one at a thrift store when she was here, and we got it for about 50 cents. It is called Tea Party, and it is for ages 5 and up. We checked, it has all the pieces, and it reminds me, when I read the instructions, of Pretty Pretty Princess, if you've ever played that. Basically what you're trying to do is get your whole tea setting before the other players. So yeah, this would be great for those, early school-age kids that just need something kind of fun. There's no strategy necessarily. But it's good for, taking turns, dealing with disappointment, all that kind of stuff. The next one I know you can get on Amazon, but again, I got it at the same thrift store actually for, again, 50 cents. I think you say it Pengaloo. I've never played this one, but I have friends who have young kids and they've played it with them, and they swear by it. They love it. This one is for ages 4 and up, and anywhere from 2 to 4 players. And while I haven't played this exact game, it is from the company Blue Orange, and I have played some of their other board games, and I've really liked them. So, next one was a Christmas present from my parents to Ani. It's the Hoot Owl Hoot board game, and this one is cooperative. It's for ages 4 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes about 15 minutes. This one was really well reviewed, and I have friends who have it and play it with their kids, so this was one I knew I wanted to get. This next one was also for my mom. It's called Leaning Tower. It says ages 3 and up. I honestly think the kid that you're playing with probably needs to be older, because essentially you build this tower, you roll a dice, and it tells you what color peg you have to pull out. It takes a decent amount of coordination, but if you had older kids, it's super easy. And this one is another thrift store find. Playful Patterns. I loved playing with tangrams. I think that's what they're called when I was little. And I know this is an older toy because it has that little Discovery Toys logo that I remember from when I was little. This one is foam. I love the wood ones, but again, we found this at a thrift store and I think I paid like 25 cents for it, so it was totally worth it. Next up, I think my mom got us this one for Christmas too. Well, not us, it's for Ani, but Lauda and I have played it a couple times, and it is Yeti and My Spaghetti, and it is for 2 or more players, ages 4 and up, and essentially it is sort of like the game Kerplunk. You set it up like this, and you take turns pulling noodles out, and you don't want the Yeti to fall through. Super fun again. If you have older kids, it's kind of funny to play, easy to have a conversation. Lauda and I actually really enjoyed playing it. And then, if you've seen our video of us playing this one, Feed the Kitty. This one's from Gamewright. It is 2 to 5 players, ages 4 and up. I think you could play this with a younger kid if they could remember what each dice roll means. No strategy in this one at all. It's all luck. It goes very quickly. I think we played it in like 5 minutes, but we really liked it. Again, this was a thrift store find. I think I got it for either 50 cents or $1. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we really like board games, so it's worth the investment. But it was a fun, quick little game. Next is And it doesn't matter specifically, I don't think, which one you have, but it's a memory game. And this one is what sound does it make? And you can play it based on actual animals themselves, or you can play it on the sound that they make, obviously. But memory is such an easy game. We liked playing it, I feel like, by ourselves way past, I think, the age that most people think of. And this one doesn't actually even have an age on it. But it'd also be good for little kids too, because you can just work on what the animals are and make the sounds that they make. And then last but not least are the Rory Story Cubes. And we have the action set. We have the, I guess, just the original set. And the Voyages set. And these are from Gamewright as well. They recommend them for ages 8 and up, but again, I think it depends on your child and their verbal skills. And this can be for 1 or more players. And essentially what it is, if you're not familiar, is you get a little set of dice. Each side has a picture on it. You roll them, and essentially you make a story up out of it. So this could be an easy way if you have a kiddo that's reluctant to practice writing while they're, doing school at home. This could be a great way to help them get past that. They could make a story based on the dice. Super quick, super fun. I've worked in middle schools and we've played this as groups because you can do it as a cooperative game as well. Again, with this one, there's no winner and loser. So if you have a kiddo that, I keep wanting to say if you have a student, if you have a kiddo who's sensitive to that, this can be a great one to, not have to have that come up if you're trying to get something done while your kids are playing. For our little kid games, that's all. So I'll jump in with a few of our favorite, either, older children or adult games. All right, I'm back, and I not randomly, I did put a little thought into it, but I came with 6 games that are for older players that Lauda and I really like playing. We have a lot of board games. I didn't realize how many we had until I went to just pull a few of them. Of course, we have some of the classics like Taboo, Pictionary, Scattergories, Sorry, Monopoly, all those. I'm not going to pull those out just because I feel like most people are familiar. These are some likely ones that you haven't heard of unless you're kind of into gaming. So the first one up, and they actually make a younger kid version of this as well, is Ticket to Ride. This game is for 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up. They say it takes 30 to 60 minutes. Lauda and I play this with 2 players, and we're almost always done in 30 minutes. You build these railway lines, and at the end there's a point system, and you want to see who has the most points. We've really liked playing this one as a 2-player game. Next one up, this one is a little more complicated to learn, particularly if you're not used to card-based games. It's called Dominion. This is for 2 to 4 players, although I believe you can get expansion packs if you have a bigger family. It takes 30 minutes or longer, and that's pretty accurate. And it says ages 8 and up, which I think is also pretty accurate. I've played it with a kid as young as 8. It just takes a lot of teaching. But honestly, if you've never played this, it takes a lot of teaching to understand it. Basically, at the end, you want the most money or the most land. And you use these little cards, and different cards do different things. But this one's a fun one. Once you pick it up, it's super fun. It is a little challenging to learn. Next one. This one's my wife's favorite, probably, Villainous. I'm sure you've heard her say before how much she loves Disney villains. This one is 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, which I honestly, you might be able to play with a kid a little younger. I don't know. And it says 50 minutes. When the 2 of us play it, it doesn't take quite that long. But essentially, you are playing as one of the Disney villains. You have specific things that you have to get done to kind of finish your, dastardly deeds. You basically want to beat the heroes. But it's super fun. So you're playing against the other players who also are villains. Next one up, I think you say this one Suro, but maybe it's Tusuro. I'm not sure. This one is 2 to 8 players, ages 8 and up. I think you can play this one with younger kids. Essentially what you're doing is you're a dragon, and you are building the map, and you're following these little white lines, and your main objective is to, is to not fall off the edge of the map, or you die, or crash into another dragon, or you die. So a younger kid might not understand kind of the thinking ahead, but they could just enjoy playing the game. So again, you're going to know your child best, but this game is quick to learn and super fun. That one's probably the easiest to learn of all of the games I'm going to go over. Quirkle. We love this game. Never mind this little cardboard piece. For some reason when we bought it, this was like an insert, but there was no way to keep it, so we put this in here so the pieces don't fall out. Quirkle is 2 to 4 players, ages 6 and up. which I think is pretty accurate. And what you're doing in the game is you're taking turns laying pieces down, and you can either do the same shape in a row or the same color, and you cannot have either a repeating color. I know this one looks like repeating colors, but it's actually orange, red, and blue. Or you cannot repeat the same shape. And if you don't want to get complicated, you can just take turns doing that. But technically you're supposed to assign points for every play, and you want to be the player with the most points at the end. We really like this one though. And then last but not least, I thought I would throw in a cooperative game where everyone is working together, just in case you have kids like that, because I know my siblings and I, when we were little, would have done much better with cooperative games. And it is Forbidden Island. It's 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Again, you're going to know your kids. They could play if they're younger, but they could also take a little bit older. And this one takes about a half an hour. But essentially what you're doing is you're on an island and it's slowly sinking, and depending on what player you are, you have different capabilities and special abilities, and you're trying to collect these, I think they're called amulets in the game. Anyway, that part doesn't matter, but you're trying to collect them and then get off the island before it sinks. So, Forbidden Island, cooperative game, great. And I think they have a Forbidden Desert as well, but this is another one that we really like playing, even with just 2 players. So that pretty much sums it up. Like I said, I think all of the ones I showed you just now, I had bought on Amazon or were gifted to me from Amazon. Not from Amazon, but somebody bought them as a gift on Amazon. You know what I mean. But board games are a great, low-tech, screen-free way to pass time, and they do teach kids how to communicate, deal with frustrations, depending on the game, you know, put a little strategy and forethought in. And hopefully you found a game in here that you've never heard of before and are interested in trying out. I will say with the adult games that I showed, there are tutorials on how to play all of these online. Tabletop is where I learned how to play most of them, but there are tons of other tutorial channels. So I'm not going to do a tutorial at this time, but that's where you can check it out. I'll try to link it in the description. Anyway, that's all. Hopefully, guys, you're surviving your time in self-quarantine. Bye.